Okay. I'm ready now.
It's told that you can get what you want, or you can just get old. You're gonna kick.
Okay. This is my bookshelf. Oh my god. We're going to take books off one by one, and we're going to talk about them. This is my TBR, pretty much. Physical TBR that I own, obviously. So, let's go. Alright. These are in no particular order. This is just the way they're stacked on my bookshelf. Carrie Soto is back by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is about Carrie Soto, who is a tennis player. And that's all I know. And I saw Destiny and Haley and Sarah read it. Maybe not all of them read it, but in that video they read it. And I want to read it. And I got it strictly because it came in paperback, and I hate hardcovers, so Carrie Soto's back. Hopeless by Colleen Hoover. Oh, the sticker's still on there. What? I bought this along with Carrie Soto when I had a really bad week. I was like, I deserve a book. Colleen Hoover is not necessarily, she used to be like one of my favorite authors. I haven't read a book by Colleen Hoover in so long now. And I was like, I always see this cover and I kind of miss, like, still trying to get this damn sticker off. And I kind of miss, like, just being able to, like, fly through Colleen Hoover books. So I bought Hopeless. I know this is part of a series and it intertwines with All Your Perfects, and All Your Perfects is one of my favorite books of all time. So I want to read this. Next, we have the Hunger Games, but I'm gonna wait to like display that until I get the rest of the series. They're out of order because I looked up when the reaping is, because I heard it was on July 4th, and I was like, oh, that's dystopian and scary. And it turns out I was correct. Anyways, I have a nonfiction book, Love Does by Bob Goff. Started reading this and I got to page like 25. It's a Christian book and a friend gave it to me and I really want to read it. So there's that. Another Colleen book, It Starts With Us. No, I haven't read it. I've heard it's like an unneeded epilogue. And I just have like mixed feelings about it now. I was so excited to read it, but now I'm like iffy about it. Like I said, I haven't read a Colleen book in so long. So I'm just like nervous. I'm nervous I'm not gonna like it and then my opinion on Colleen is gonna change. But I have more Colleen on here, so like might as well just read it at this point. One Italian Summer by Rebecca Searle. I read In 5 Years by this author and I loved it. So, and I've heard really good things. She's like a literary fiction author, and I've heard really good things about this book, about like grief and loss and heartache, and it's just, I've heard it's a beautiful book, and I really do want to read it. I just haven't gotten to it, and it's summertime, so like I might as well, but like, just haven't gotten to it. Another nonfiction. I thrifted this book. There's another damn sticker on here though. Okay, we're just gonna cover the sticker. I'm not. Girl with No Job by Claudia Oshry. I thrifted this for $5.99, and I love Claudia. And I just never got around to buying it, and then I saw it at Goodwill, and I was like, oh my god. So I had to get it. And I want to read it, but I'm just never in a nonfiction mood, but we'll see. Next book we have is Shatter Me by Tahira Mafi. Okay, funny story. Me and my sister used to be book people, like in like 2014, 2015, when like dystopian was at its peak, stuff like that. Ronnie's eating if you hear her chomping. Sorry. We used to have this book, and I remember because my sister was petty and we would fight all the time, and she would initial her initials KG on the inside of her books, and like we weren't allowed to share books. And we got rid of it at some point, and so I had to rebuy Shatter Me, which was so depressing. But it's like, it's not like it was that expensive. It's like a $12 book, it's fine. But I had to rebuy it, and then I haven't read it yet. So I've heard amazing things about the series. I just haven't read it yet. Next, I'm like taking knickknacks off my bookshelf as I go through here. Next book, To Kill a Mockingbird. This is the one with the frayed edges. This is my sister's book. Let's see if she has her initials in here. No. This was my sister's and I took it from her. But I missed, okay, when I was in high school, I transferred high schools, if you didn't know, and I transferred my sophomore year. But at my old school, you read To Kill a Mockingbird sophomore year, but at the new school, you read it freshman year. So I just missed To Kill a Mockingbird, and I still haven't read it. And I want to be in the know. I want to know what's going on. Another book that I missed reading in that year, The Great Gatsby. This is literally like a 150-page book. Yeah, literally 184 pages. I haven't read it. I don't know. I've seen the movie so many times, but I've never read it, and I want to, so. Next, we have As Good as Dead by Holly Jackson. I always want to say Holly Black. By Holly Jackson. I got the hardcover, and I hate hardcover. If you know me, you know. I've mentioned it like twice in this video already. I hate hardcover. But it is what it is. But I got the hardcover last year because I read A Good Girl's Guide to Murder, Good Girl, Bad Blood, and then I had to hunt for this book, and they only had it in hardcover. And then I got this far in, and I never finished it, but I'm going to read it this fall. I do not care. Next book, Normal People by Sally Rooney. This is such a random TBR, but it's genuinely just all the books that I've bought and like haven't read yet. Normal People by Sally Rooney. I am scared to read this because there's no quotation marks. That's a dumb reason to not read a book, but I don't know. I'm also just kind of scared to read it because it's such a hyped up book and like show and everything. What if I don't like it? Okay, next little series we have going on here. Let me organize them. The Hunger Games. I read The Hunger Games. I like skimmed Mockingjay before I saw the movie. And I don't remember a single thing about it. Next, Bunny by Mona Awad. I'm scared to read this book, but I'm very intrigued by it, but I'm very scared to read it. I don't know if it's like a thriller or like a mystery or like literary fiction or like I don't know what it is, and I'm scared to read it, but I think it's gonna be a fall book, so keep me accountable on that. Moving on to the next little stack. Breaking Dawn by Stephanie Meyer. Hardcover. Again, I have the other 3 books are in paperback. It's fine. I've gotten to page 206. Gotten this far into said book. And I've tabbed it a little bit, if you can see that. I love Twilight. I eat it up. But I don't like Jacob. And book 2, or like part 2, is Jacob's POV. And I don't. Then my aunt's gonna watch this and be like, Gabrielle. My aunt is Team Jacob and I'm Team Edward, and we fight over it constantly in like a very friendly way, kind of. So I have a hard time getting through this, but maybe this fall. We'll Always Have Summer by Jenny Han. I read the first 2 books this summer of The Summer I Turned Pretty. I read them like last month, and I haven't gotten to the 3rd one yet. I'm really bad at finishing series, but I've gotten this far. We're having a theme here. I've gotten this far into the book, and it's not that I didn't like it. I just got bored of the series. Like I was just like, I want something new, whatever. Haven't finished it. The Way I Used to Be by Amber Smith. I'm so scared to read this book, but I really want to read it. This is about a sexual assault, and it's told in 4 parts: freshman, sophomore, junior, and senior year, and like trauma. Scared to read it, but I really think it's important to read it, and so we'll see when I get to this. Oh, this is a big book. Crescent City. I thrifted this for $3.99. Yeah, $3.99. Half Fae, Half Human. Bryce Quinlan Loves Her Life. I'm so glad. But I've heard this is like a modern fantasy, so they like go out to clubs and they have phones. I think that's really interesting, but it's thick. Like, I don't even know how many pages this is. Almost 800. 803 pages. I'm doing a reading 100+ pages a day video soon, so maybe The Simple Wild by K.A. Tucker. I've had this book for like 2 years, and Kenzie Elizabeth loves this series, and that's reason enough for me to read it. Ronnie Elizabeth. She keeps wanting to eat this damn sticker. Oh no, that's the permanent sticker. All the Bright Places by Jennifer Niven. I have seen this in Target, at Walmart, at Barnes for years and years and years, and I finally got it for Christmas the other year, a couple years ago, and I haven't read it yet. I'm so bad about this. My TBR is not as big as some people's, but it's so random. Anyways, All the Bright Places. I'm so intrigued. The story of a boy named Finch and a girl named Violet, and they meet at the ledge of the bell tower at school, 6 stories above the ground. It's unclear who saves who. That sounds so cute, and I really want to read it. We're almost done, guys. We're almost done. This has been on my TBR since middle school. At this point, I should just unhaul it. The Book Thief by Marcus Zuzak. Maybe winter. It's like told in the POV of like death during World War II. That scares me. But I've literally had it since like 2012. Like, anyways. Next, Verity by Miss Coho. I got the special edition because Verity was one of my favorite books. Like, Verity's the first thriller I read, and I really liked it. But this is why I bought this book, and I was not smart about it. This book was $30. Anyways, this is why I bought it. And I could have just read this in the Barnes and Noble, and then walked out and not spent $30. But the epilogue is so long. It's literally 50 pages of like new content of Verity, and I had to have it. So I have it, and I haven't read it yet. God. All right. The last book. This isn't even like on my oh my god. This isn't even on like my TBR. This is just like one that I wanted to have because I love this man. Madly Deeply by Alan Rickman. If you know me, you know how much I adore Alan Rickman, and I had to have it. But this isn't like a book where I'm going to sit down and read the whole thing in one sitting. This is kind of just so I have it. Madly Deeply. So those are all the books on my TBR. And thank you for coming along this little journey with me. And we're going to make a fall TBR video very soon because it is now August. And yeah. And some of these books are going to be featured on it because I'm on a book buying ban until September. So I'll see you guys next time.